we find it hard to deal with something that is non-dual. It's about me and you, or me and the others. And that always has this constant, continuous theme of duality. In duality as well, we have learned to look for non-duality through either the bhakti process, wherein you try and connect to the source, and the source is something out there other than you. And in connecting to the source, your ultimate goal is to be one with the source. So effectively, what that means is that you wipe away your ego, you wipe away your individuality and your identifications to a point where you just become one. You become one with everything around you. As a concept, that's what we have learned. As a concept, that's what we have been trained to do. But that is also one of the traps of being present, of being in non-duality. Non-duality is about removing or discarding all those beliefs, conditionings, concepts, ideas that you have embraced or adopted, and discarding them completely to the point there is just this state of being, this isness. This state of being is not really dependent on the mind. It is independent of everything that we have learned, that we have been taught. It is something that is always there, something that we have not been able to deconstruct any further. So one could argue that when one has deconstructed everything that they can perceive or possibly perceive, then that which is left is that state of being, is that non-duality, is that presence. In theory, that is how the mind works. That's how conceptually you can approach it. But as long as the mind is involved, there is always going to be duality. There's always going to be not one, perhaps two, perhaps more. Awareness is something similar. When we talk about awareness, we oftentimes believe that if you have this pure sense of awareness, then you see or perceive things for what they are. You don't see any difference between what things really are versus what you perceive. The implication here is that under normal circumstances, or other people generally tend to perceive things that they would like to perceive, or perceive things that is based on their beliefs or conditioning, so that the conclusion here is that you do not perceive something as it is. You perceive something that is completely biased, completely prejudiced based on your opinion, based on your belief. So awareness is also tainted. No matter how far you go, there's always going to be two when you have awareness. There is the object and the subject. There is the scenery and the person, or the person who is watching, the watcher. So presence implies something different. Presence means there is neither the object or the subject. There is neither the scene nor the witness of that scene. Both have merged into one. There is a terminology we often use called experiencing, or being, or presence, which is effortless, which does not require any effort at all. But of course, it has become something that is hard or difficult because we have been habituated with having a thinking brain, a thinking mind, which never really rests, and rests perhaps only for a small time when we are asleep. So that which requires effort, which we call thinking, is really become a habit, and we refer to it as effortless. But in actual fact, effortless implies there's no activity, no effort, no thinking, and just a state of silence, of being, and state of bliss.